We're watching. Thank guys. To Detroit. The championship team.
Oh, here they are. The first player we have to talk about is Alex Caruso, the Bald Mamba. A player like him should be on a championship team. It's as simple as that. And the team that would best fit him are the Sacramento Kings. It's clear that they are still a piece or two away from being title contenders, and I strongly believe that Caruso could be the final piece. For starters, he's one of the best defensive players in basketball, and I don't mean that lightly. His defense is literally game-changing, like defensive player of the year level impactful. He's pretty much a 6'4" defensive anchor who can do everything. The Kings' defense actually improved from last season. They ranked 14th this year, which mainly was due to Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, and De'Aaron Fox improving as well. And of course, Davion Mitchell is still being an irritant. However, you can never have enough defensive weapons. Just look at the Boston Celtics or the Denver Nuggets. Or how could I forget about the Timberwolves or the Thunder? The best teams in the NBA have the most stacked defensive rosters. That's a fact. And when you look at the Kings' defense, you see solid, but not stacked. But adding Caruso of all people to this squad would turn things around ASAP. What would a trade between these two teams even look like? Well, I was thinking sending Alex Caruso to the Kings for Davion Mitchell, Chris Duarte, Keon Ellis, and a 2025 first and 2 future second-round picks. To some, this may sound like a lot. But for those who know how good Caruso is defensively and offensively, you'll understand. A lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Alex Caruso, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis would be fire. Then you have Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter coming off the bench along with Alex Len and Trey Lyles. Defensively, the Kings will finally have a true defensive stopper who can make life hell for opposing superstars. Then with the way he leads a defense, he would make the entire Kings defense better. Caruso is a terrific on-ball defender and off-ball defender. And offensively, not only is he a high IQ cutter and decision maker, but he shot 40% from 3 this season on 4 attempts. So this would be the best time to pick him up. He's in his prime on both ends of the floor. But what do you think? Should the Kings get him? Let us know in the comments down below. The second player who must get traded to a championship team is Trae Young. I don't know what the problem's been, but he just can't get over the hump. Some say it's his fault. He isn't a winner, nor does he play defense. However, one thing we do know is he's a borderline superstar and arguably the best passer in basketball. I know everyone wants to see him in San Antonio. Trust me, I do too. But does San Antonio realistically give him the best chance to win a championship? I don't know. Maybe so, maybe not. But if he wants to win a ring next season, there are better options, such as the Lakers. It has been a rumor for the past couple of seasons. It would be a great fit if you ask me. If I were the Lakers, I would send Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent along with a future first to the Hawks for Ice Trae. Austin Reeves and Rui are very talented young players who could really benefit from having their own team with low expectations. Then just think about what other pieces the Hawks could get from trading either DeJounte Murray or Clint Capella. A Lakers starting lineup of Trae, Taurean Prince, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis could be special. The one thing it seems the Lakers are missing is someone who can give them an extra push late in games, even when Bron and AD play well. Then it would also allow LeBron to rest a lot more. A Trae Young and AD pick and roll would be one of the best in the NBA, and James could finally play off the ball. I know that's been said hundreds of times over the years, but this time it would be for real. The Lakers would need to add more depth, but all in all, I think Trae fits perfectly in LA. The third player on our list is Nick Claxton. If you aren't familiar with this Brooklyn Net, just know he is a terrific shot blocker who averaged over 2 blocks per game in just 29 minutes a night. He's just 25 years old, too. Not to mention, he has a strong case of being the best perimeter defender in the NBA among centers. That's why I think a team like the Warriors could really use him. The Warriors ranked 15th in defensive rating and 14th in paint defense. Not terrible numbers, but definitely not championship numbers. If you put Claxton and Draymond on the same defense, I guarantee they will be a top 5 defense, if not better. Claxton is just that damn good. One thing that has killed the Warriors was their lack of size on the inside. While Claxton is pretty thin, he's still 6'11" with a long 7'3" wingspan. It's clear that a defense of Klay and Draymond isn't as effective as it was in 2016.
See?
He would come in and control the entire paint, which would also allow Draymond to be more off the ball, which would be ideal since Draymond is fantastic at rotating and sprinting all across the floor to contest shots. It would add a new dynamic to the defense. Offensively, he isn't a shooter or a passer, but he is a lob threat, something both Draymond and Steph will love. The Warriors love running actions with screens, so best believe he will have plenty of lob opportunities up top. The fourth player that needs to be traded to a championship team is the one and only Kevin Durant. After getting swept by the Timberwolves, history will tell you that the Durantula is looking to join another team. And while fans might not like it, I seriously doubt he cares. I mean, do you seriously think a man whose hair looks like that will care about a stranger's opinion? Okay, all jokes aside, I think the best spot for him would be with Atlanta. Paired up with Trae Young, should he not go to LA or San Antonio. Sending DeJounte Murray, AJ Griffin, and DeAndre Hunter to Phoenix for KD could be huge for Phoenix. They would finally get a point guard in Murray, and they would get a nice sized defensive player in Hunter, something they've needed desperately. Then you have a young AJ Griffin whose career in the NBA has gotten off to a slow start, but there's still room to grow. And with Bradley Beal still in Phoenix, I'm sure he has decent trade value. So the Suns could move him for more nice-sized defensive-minded players. For the Hawks, I think a lineup of Trae Young, Bogdan Bogdanovic, KD, Jalen Johnson, and Clint Capella could be interesting. And if they fill out the bench and add depth, I could see this squad being a problem in the East. But of course, this would definitely be one of the worst defensive teams in basketball. So I would be on the market for a couple of perimeter defenders in free agency. All in all, I really would like to see how this would fit. But what do you think? The fifth player is Matisse Thybulle. He's kind of in the same boat as Caruso. While he isn't a star, his defense is just as good as someone like Luka is offensively. Thybulle is an incredibly good on- and off-ball defender. That's why I think he would be perfectly suited in a Mavericks uniform. The Mavericks are a really good team, but their lack of elite defensive stoppers will continue to haunt them. As teams get more and more elite, you need an all-defensive team-level perimeter defender who can disrupt the flow of offenses on all three levels. Matisse has done that his entire career. If you want to know how crazy good of a defender he is, it's good to note that he's averaging 1.7 steals per game in just 22 minutes. Yeah, you heard that correctly. He's arguably the most disruptive wing defender in basketball in terms of hand activity and off-ball activity. He would give the Mavericks so many more extra possessions, turning defense to offense. And with an offense that has Luka and Kyrie in it, giving them extra possessions will make them unstoppable. They're too good of scorers. And offensively, while Thybulle has been known as a non-shooter and non-offensive threat, offense is not what the Mavericks need to worry about. So I would send PJ Washington and Oliver Maxence Prosper to the Trailblazers for Thybulle. A lineup of Kyrie, Luka, Thybulle, Derrick Jones, and Daniel Gafford would be otherworldly on both ends of the floor. Mavs, please do this. The sixth player is DeJounte Murray, and I know we covered him in the KD fantasy trade, so let's make this brief. The Hawks will most likely trade him before they trade Trae Young. And one place I think he would best fit would be with the Miami Heat. A big three of Murray, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo would be amazing defensively. I would trade Caleb Martin, Josh Richardson, and to match the salary, I would add in Terry Rozier. I think this would be a better trade than most realize. The Heat need that extra spark. The seventh player that needs to be traded to a championship team is Jeremy Grant. He averaged 21 points per game while shooting 45% from the field and 40% from three. He's the total package for a team that has championship aspirations. Now, I don't have a clear number one team he should go to, but the Heat, Mavericks, and Lakers are the three championship level teams I think he would thrive on. A 6'9" forward who can score efficiently on all three levels off the catch and off the dribble while also being a good defender is something that isn't common. He does have a large contract, but if you're a championship team and need that one piece, he's definitely that guy. Eighth on the list, we have Bruce Brown. I know he shot 32% from three, but his value comes from his ability to play off the ball as a cutter. And he's someone who's proven he can run an offense as a secondary playmaker. And of course, his defense is elite when it matters most. I have three teams who should try to pursue him: the Clippers, Bucks, and 76ers. At 27 years old, you know exactly what you're going to get out of him. We saw it during the Denver Nuggets championship run. He's a type of player every title contending team dreams of. The same thing can be said about the 9th guy on this list, Gary Payton II. And I know this was a surprise, but his defense is top tier. I know we've talked about the Clippers, Heat, and Lakers a lot, but I think the Denver Nuggets should absolutely snatch him up. They should send Zeke Naji along with 2 future picks, whether it be first or second rounds for him. And I know the Nuggets are coming off a gentleman's sweep of the Lakers, but it's clear they aren't as deep as they were last year without Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. So getting GP2 could be getting them that depth back. And he's basically a smaller and cheaper version of Bruce Brown. Sure, we could argue that GP2 is the better defender, but when it comes to cutting and movement without the ball and making winning plays, that's what they do similarly well. And last but certainly not least, we have Herb Jones. And the reason we're mentioning him last is because we all know how out of this world he is on the defensive side of the ball. In fact, he's so elite defensively that Greg Popovich told his players not to swing the ball to his side of the court when Herb was there. And he was serious. That alone should let you know how elite he is. He's still only 25 years old, but after getting swept by the Thunder, both Zion and Brandon Ingram's future in New Orleans might be questionable, which would leave Herb in a terrible situation. And a defender that damn good doesn't need to waste his years on a team like that. But I want you guys to let me know what championship level team you think Herb would make the most difference on. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll...
I pray to God, hopefully I don't get copyrighted. Okay.
God bless. Bye.